So if you have just logged into WordPress and you've spotted a warning that your website health isn't what it should be, then you can click into here, because often this says needs improvement. And you can see here we've got a recommended improvement. And this is saying that we should use persistent object cache. And it sounds really techy, but you don't need to panic. It's one of the easier things to fix. I'm going to show you how to make it disappear in about 2 minutes. Now, this fix is specifically for SiteGround users. So if you're on a different host, there will be a process that's similar. I can kind of point you in the right direction. Okay, so once you're in your WordPress dashboard, you're going to look for the SiteGround Optimizer plugin in your left-hand menu, and it's called Speed Optimizer. And it's a free plugin that SiteGround installs with all of the new WordPress installations. So once you're in here, once you've found it, you're going to click onto caching, and you're looking for two things to switch on: dynamic caching, which is already enabled by default, and then you want this Memcached one, which we also want to turn on. So we're going to click into here, and you can see it's automatically been successful. Now, if yours brings up an error, it might be that you need to go to your dashboard in SiteGround and go to your speed, caching, and in here you can see Memcached, and I had already turned this on. So if yours is disabled, it might bring up an error when you're in your WordPress dashboard. So let's come back here. So this is now switched on, and then you can go to the environment tab and make sure that HTTPS enforce is on. So I switched mine on earlier. When you turn this on, it automatically logs you out, and then you have to log back in. So when you toggle this on, it will log you out. But enforce that. I also like to fix insecure content as well. And also check that your PHP version is up at a good level, because you want to make sure that it's around about 8.1 or 8.2 is kind of where you want to be at this particular time. So this is May 2026. And now let's go back to tools and go to Site Health. And you can see now that that recommendation has disappeared. So in most cases, that warning will be gone. Like I said before, if you still have an issue with it, go into your SiteGround dashboard, and in there you can go and just enable all of that caching. So here you just want to make sure that that's toggled on. And so really, in terms of what you just did, WordPress was repeatedly asking your database the same questions. Everybody loaded a page. So Memcached gives it a memory, so it can just recall the answer instead of asking again. And that means it's faster for your visitors and it's lighter on your server. So if that Memcached wasn't available as an option, there's likely two reasons. So either the SG, the SiteGround Optimizer plugin, isn't fully connected to your hosting account, and you can fix that by going into your site tools, go to speed, caching, Memcached, which is what I showed you a moment ago, and then you can just toggle this on. Or less commonly, if your hosting plan doesn't include it, if that's the case, it's worth a quick chat with SiteGround support to confirm it. And if you don't know how to get into SiteGround support, I've got a video that shows you exactly how to do that, because it's kind of tucked away. One thing worth saying is that you don't need to add a separate caching plugin like WP Rocket or W3 Total Cache on SiteGround. This optimizer handles it, and actually stacking caching plugins on top of each other can cause more problems rather than solving them. So if you notice that you've got anything about plugin updates waiting, so when you go back to your Site Health, if you've got another notice here about plugin updates, then please deal with those, because it's important that you keep your plugins up to date, because sometimes they're security patches. Sometimes they're feature enhancements when they release plugin updates, but often they're security patches, and it's important that you do update those. So if this fixed it for you, then let me know in the comments. And if your Site Health is showing other warnings that you're not sure about, drop them below, and I'll do my best to point you in the right direction. So there's a video in the description below to have a look at that other video that I just mentioned to you. And hopefully that was helpful. Thank you so much. Drop a comment below if it fixed anything for you, and please do hit the bell to follow.